All right, good morning, guys. I am going to start doing a daily recap of my day, my trades, or just my emotions. Today I made a trade on HUDI, and I want to go over this one. It's over here on the left. I want to go over this one for a couple different reasons, and I think the title of this is going to be trusting your process and trusting your lines, because I had my lines drawn on this. My lines to scale were 660, 680, and 7. I was at the time VWAP was closer up near 7. Um, but the thing is it was about right here. I saw this building up right around 9:15 time, and I had my line out there at 660 as my plan. But then my emotions got in the way, and I kind of psyched myself out. I was like, oh, but what about if it does this or it does that? And I had one of one of the moderators in the MIC chat room. I'm sure most of you guys are going to be from MIC, and he was like, potential squeeze coming, and so it just kind of psyched me out. It messed me up. But I think what's so important, and one of the junior moderators in MIC, Kylo, we talked about this, is when you go to enter a trade, you need to make a plan. You need to consider all the variables beforehand. And then when it is time to execute, the only thing that matters is executing that trade. It's not about, oh, well, what about if this happens after or if that happens after? No. If you've considered the variables, the odds are in your favor, and you have risk management. Risk management is very key to that. Then you have no reason not to execute on that trade. Once you execute, then you can kind of decide what you want to do for them. But you need to have your risk management, your hard stops. If you've got your lines to scale, and if you've got your lines for taking profits for your covers, then you need to not hesitate no matter what when it's coming up on those lines, because vast majority of the time I would say you're going to win by that. And if I don't take these trades, then I don't even get my test subjects, as it was, to really know what my win rate is. And so for me, what I'm really working on is when I make a plan and I draw lines, and if I'm going off of Alex Temez's watch list and MIC, if the lines are there and if the plan is made, I need to stick to that. Stick to that, unless the moderators say something else or something crazy happens. But 8 out of 10 times, that's not going to be the case. So with this one, it was coming up on my line, and I had my 650 line, which is right. Let me put it out here. Right here. Here's my 650 lines that I had, and it was coming up on it, and I just psyched out, and I canceled the order. And it had to have been like a minute after it hit that line perfectly and came down to this 625, 620 area. So that is a quick, no sweat 20-cent gain. If MIC teaches anything, that is it. Nail and bail, quick 20 cent. No sweat at all. So when I canceled that order, coming through, and I was really mad at myself, really frustrated, and then I was having a hard time trying to decide, with my emotions, what do I need to do from this point? Is it still a VWAP rejection, or now that it's setting this base, is it going to go up, and could it run and touch 8 again, which was some outer lines? And I was really stressing that because of this 620 line that was going across here. But when it broke down here, I realized ultimately my lines are strong, my thesis is valid. This is a broken stock. Look at this, ran up all the way to 9 and has just faded with no mercy ever since then. So this is very broken. I know my lines, they're good lines, and so I just said fuck it, and I took the trade. And I put my lines back out there. My lines were still valid. Like I said, 660, 680, which is going to be right here, and 7 with a stop at 710 right here was just my plan, because I'm playing it for a VWAP rejection. And so I put it out there. I'm going to play it. I accepted my risk, all of that. Came up, market open, and perfectly, top ticked this trade. And I honestly would have loved for it to get up to 680 and even 7, because then I would have gotten more size on that. But I top ticked this. It responded off of this 660 resistance line very strongly. And then as it came down, I'm usually really good with my patience, really good at holding. But the thing that I did with this was, because of my kind of emotional battle pre-market, and I was just kind of annoyed at myself, wanted to take a trade, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't revenge trading. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't trying to force something that I didn't need to be doing. And so when it came down like this, essentially I said, I learned a lot of lessons on this trade. I'd located pre-market, so I was covering commissions on this, and it was a solid trade. I mean, that's gonna be a solid, just about 60% gain on that. And so I was just like, I'm gonna take it off on this whole $half number, the 6, and it's also resistance kind of support going across here. So like, I'm not gonna sweat it. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna cover commissions. I'm gonna learn my lesson. And as you guys can see, I mean, it faded beautifully, and I could have gotten so much more from it. But you can't cry over, things left on the table. Ultimately, I'm really proud of myself for re-entering this trade, trusting my lines, because pre-market I didn't do that, and I was really mad. So, any of you guys who know me, you know that I have a hard time hesitating before entering into a trade. I have a hard time with fear and all that type of stuff. So for me, the battle that I've been winning actually recently, is executing despite my fear. And that kind of pre-market, battle that happened, right here was a defeat in that, and it made me upset at myself. So to kind of conquer that and to take the trade after that and bring in with that profit, it was a big victory for me. So I want to keep these short, but ultimately I was really happy with this trade. I'm learning lessons every single day, learning to trust my lines, to trust the process, and not to stress it out, man. I mean, execute, have risk management, know where you're taking profits, and if you're playing with an edge, if you've got the odds in your favor, then you need to not stress it and you need to play the probability. So I hope this might help somebody who might be struggling with the same, and I will see you guys tomorrow for my next recap.